world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
And now, with the main news bulletin, this is Cecilia Tresha.
Good afternoon. The headlines. UPND administration reminded to lower the high cost of living. Situmbeko Msokotwane brags about budget credibility under UPND administration. Gabon coup leader lobbies for lifting of sanctions. And now the news in detail. A researcher in climate-smart agriculture, Oliver Bulaya, has reminded the UPND administration that they were voted into office to lower the high cost of living in tandem with prices of meal, and as such, there is no need to shift goals. Dr. Bulaya says there is no need for government to tell Zambians to go to the village and start farming. Meanwhile, Dr. Bulaya said in as much as farmers need competitive prices of maize, the solution to this is not merely increasing the prices of maize, but putting in place measures to help farmers increase production levels by lowering the cost of production. He said the measures which government is implementing to boost supply and stabilize the prices of meal are inadequate. Dr. Bulaya said government would have gone a step further by giving incentives to seed companies who form part of the input suppliers to lower production costs.
Teachers cannot teach when they are starving, and no country can thrive when they have no adequate food. So this is how critical the agricultural sector is. And in this aspect, it requires stringent and specific measures to respond to the missing gaps that will be able to push, this agenda. For me, I think there's been a bit of gaps, that are missing quickly, especially, responding, to the challenges, that we are facing now.
Finance Minister Situmbeko Msokotwane has boasted that budget credibility is very high under the UPND administration. Speaking during the National Symposium on the 2024 budget this morning, Dr. Msokotwane says in the past when a budget is presented and Parliament approves it, the spending of it was not clear as things were happening differently. Dr. Msokotwane says the spending tended to hurt the ordinary citizens as the funds were easily diverted from sectors such as education and health due to some unknown emergencies. The minister adds that once Parliament approves the 2024 budget, the UPND government will ensure that it is useful to the most vulnerable citizens in different sectors.
But when it comes to spending, something totally different. And in most cases, the spending where there are these variations, the spending tended to hurt the ordinary common person. So money was quite easy to divert from education, divert from health, because there's some emergency that is written somewhere, another priority that is made in the process of the year, and this has been very bad. I'm glad to report once again that since this administration took over, budget credibility is very high. So what Parliament approves is what we actually spend in terms of cash handouts.
The Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines Investment Holdings PLC shareholders have approved combined dividends totaling 724 million kwacha for the financial years ended 31st December 2022 and 31st December 2021. The approvals were made during the company's 19th annual general meeting held on Friday, 29th September. Government will get 562 million kwacha from this amount through the Industrial Development Corporation and the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, 125 million kwacha. A total of 387.23 million kwacha and 336.07 million kwacha was approved for the year ended 31st December 2022 and 31st December 2021, respectively. This follows a company profit of 4.26 billion kwacha and 1.68 billion kwacha recorded for the years ended 31st December 2022 and 31st December 2021, respectively. ZCCM Investments Holdings PLC Corporate Affairs Manager Loisa Mbata says this represents a year-on-year increase in profits of 154% in 2022 and 149% in 2021. Ms. Mbata has attributed the improved performance at company level to an increased quantum of dividend receipts and improvements in the performance of investee companies. Further, Ms. Mbata said the overall performance of the investee companies that paid dividends was positively impacted by favorable and sustained copper prices during the two reporting periods. She said ZCCMIH has paid a total of 1.4 billion kwacha in dividends to its shareholders since 2015.
The overall performance of the investee companies that paid dividends was positively impacted by the favorable and sustained copper prices during the two reporting periods. At the ZCCMH level, revenues of 11.96 billion kwacha were recorded for the year ended December 2022 and 14.4 billion kwacha for the year ended 31st December 2021. This increase is due to the acquisition of Mopani Copper Mines PLC, which accounts for an average of 98% of the group revenue.
Green Economy and Environment Minister Collins Nzovu says there is need to ensure that children are taught about climate change and the dangers of pollution at an early age. Mr. Nzovu says climate change issues are now global and the devastating effects are visible, hence the need to include them in the school curriculum. He said agriculture is the most affected by climate change, and with most schools now having successful production units, people need to be taught about smart agriculture. The minister, who is a former pupil at St. Paul's Secondary School, also boasted about the high productivity in the production unit during his school days and encouraged the school to ensure it is up and running. And St. Paul's Secondary School head teacher Stephen Peary said the school has revamped the production unit and had 3 fish ponds running, which had even produced fish which was sold and also fed to pupils. Meanwhile, Provincial Forestry Officer Central Province Odilia Longe boasted of having sensitized and established 22 community forest management areas. This is contained in a statement issued by Ministry of Green Economy Communications. In other stories trending this afternoon, the government has challenged former President Edgar Lungu not to hide his alleged intentions to return to active politics. And President Hakainde Hichilema is today expected to undertake a one-day official visit to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Stay tuned for business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The Lusaka City Council has expressed displeasure over an unknown individual who has been impersonating the council town clerk with the intention of collecting money from business owners within the city. Council Public Relations Officer Nyambe Bulumba says it has come to the attention of the council that the impersonator is taking advantage of the town clerk position to extort money from business owners by falsely claiming that their businesses will remain open even if they have not paid or renewed their permits. Mr. Bulumba said the impersonator has been allegedly soliciting money for lunch and beverages, among other funds, from them, using his fake-earned title Lusaka City Council Town Clerk. He has since advised business owners and members of the public that the council does not receive cash payments for any services. He explains that instead, customers are required to make payments through council-affiliated banks and produce a receipt as proof of payment for any service. In foreign news, Gabon's coup leader has held talks with Congolese President Denis Sassou Nguesso as he seeks to end sanctions imposed on the country. General Brice Oligui Nguema said his visit yesterday to Congo-Brazzaville was aimed at strengthening ties with its neighbor and end Gabon's isolation within the region and globally. It comes weeks after Gabon's membership of the African Union and the Central African Regional Bloc ECOWAS was suspended after the 30th August coup. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council is today expected to vote on a resolution that will see an international force led by Kenya deployed to Haiti to quell a surge in gang violence. For more foreign news, here's a roundup from the BBC.
EU foreign ministers are meeting for the first time in the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. The bloc's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, told the BBC that EU funding would not waver describing Russia's war in Ukraine as an existential threat for Europe. The mayor of Kharkiv says Ukraine's second city plans to build the first underground school in the country. Ihor Terehov said it would enable thousands of children to continue their education safely, even during Russian missile threats. The emergency services in northern Mexico are working through the night to rescue survivors from the debris of a church which has collapsed, killing at least 10 people. The accident happened during a baptism at the Santa Cruz Church in Ciudad Madero. The scandal hit Japanese male talent agency Johnny & Associates says it will change its name and set up a new firm to manage its artists. The company is trying to distance itself from decades of sexual abuse by its late founder, Johnny Kitagawa.
And in sports news this afternoon, the Football Association of Zambia says it has lined up some international friendly matches for the Chipolo Polo boys during the FIFA window as part of preparations for the November round of World Cup qualifiers. FAS President Andrew Kamanga says FAS has set a high benchmark in terms of preparing teams for international engagements. Kamanga is keeping his fingers crossed for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations draw to be held on October 12th in Abidjan, saying once the draws for the AFCON are done, FAS will refine the program in terms of preparations for the tournament. Stand by for the afternoon weather forecast brought to you by Classicon.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Most parts of the country are partly cloudy, windy, and warm to hot, with maximum temperature ranging between 26 and 39 degrees Celsius. Ends the afternoon weather update.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
On that note, we come to the end of the main news, but before we go, let's take another look at the top stories. A researcher in climate smart agriculture, Oliver Bulaya, has reminded the UPND administration that they were voted into office to lower the high cost of living in tandem with prices of meal, and as such, there is no need to shift goals. Finance Minister Situmbeko Msokotwane has boasted that budget credibility is very high under the UPND administration. And Gabon's coup leader has held talks with Congolese President Denis Sassou Nguesso as he seeks to end sanctions imposed on the country. For more news, follow us on our YouTube channel and Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Cecilia Tresha. Have a good afternoon.
Get acquainted with the latest news on the multiple award-winning radio station, 5FM Radio at 0615, 1245, and 1830. Fair, balanced, and objective information is what you